Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Diz Unplugged, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, John Magi.
Hi, everybody.
Kevin Close.
Hello, everyone.
Jackie Gailey.
Hi, guys.
Kathy Worley.
Hi, everybody.
And off camera, because we had a little technical issue, is our producer, Craig Williams, and associate producer, Rhino Clavin.
Hi.
Hello. There you go.
Disembodied
Off camera, but
voices.
not off mic.
Right.
So welcome, folks. A little bit different intro to the show today. We're going to be doing it this way from now on because doing the whole coming up thing doesn't make any sense since I am changing the format, and we're just going to talk about whatever we feel like talking about.
You don't know what's coming up.
I don't know. Well, I see, and I like that.
Because
I
it's
like
our
that.
show and not yours.
Right.
And so I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I've got a couple things here. Then again, I went off on a little bit of a rant last Wednesday? About the Hotel Ishtar and the Star Cruise or whatever the hell it's
That's
called.
pretty good.
I think it's the Hotel Ishtar personally, but a lot of people disagreed with me, and I heard from a number of you. I'm sure that'll come up, but I don't know. That's the thing about working with great professionals and people with fantastic personalities. And Craig.
Who's he talking about?
Everyone but Craig, apparently.
Craig's in a league of his
That's
own.
mean.
Look at that.
Craig is in a league of his own. All right, so...
He was the Rosie O'Donnell character.
Or the one that could hit really good but wasn't pretty.
Marla. It's weird that I know so much about that movie.
Yeah,
isn't
really.
it?
We've watched it twice in the last year.
All right, so what are we going to talk about? John?
I have things. You want me to talk about
Yeah,
things?
talk
All right.
about things.
I have to go in Kevin's bag. Will you lift your bag up?
He doesn't have the bag of his own.
I don't. That's the other movie, the sequel.
Kevin has a different bag for every day of the year. Fun fact.
That's true.
Oh, I could go a couple of years.
So I want to do I have two things. One is Disney related, one is not Disney related. One of the things that I've kind of fallen in love with recently is a company called New Zealand Mint. And New Zealand Mint has a copyright agreement with Disney, and they produce Disney specific silver and gold coins. And these make terrific gifts. They're terrific souvenirs. You're getting a precious metal in addition to getting something Disney. They have other things too. They've got Harry Potter and stuff I don't understand, but they also do Star Wars because of Disney. And I wanted to share my latest coin with you that I got from New Zealand Mint. I think it's awesome. I think Pete will think it's awesome. I think Kevin hates it
Oh, because it's Star Wars.
because it's Star Wars.
You have hate and apathy are far different.
Can we get it on? I don't know if I can get it on the screen or not. So I don't know if you can see it. It's
Oh,
the
wow.
Millennium Falcon,
Let me see.
1 ounce of silver. I'll let you take it out and look at it.
Do you know you have another coin from them at home?
I do. You bought me a giant.
It's 1 pound of
That's
silver.
really cool.
Yep. So what I like about this company is not only is it you're buying something that's Disney themed and has that sort of nostalgia to it, but again, I feel like I'm buying something that has value. Now, you're not paying the price of silver per ounce or gram or whatever you're buying it in. You're paying more because there's craftsmanship in it, but they tend to go up in value. Can you pop the little silver thing out? It's hard to do. It's
Really cool.
No.
And rub it against the table really hard.
And ruin the value of it. Here, see if you can get it out of there. Because I think you should feel the coin itself. So there's something I think folks should
Okay, and I
look
think
at.
to just make it clear, we do not have
I was
any
gonna
kind
start
of
with that.
business arrangement. We're not pushing this.
No.
Which reminds me, though, I did forget to do some plugs. So while they're getting this out, this show, along with everything we do, brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, of which John and I are owners. So if you like our content and you like, I don't know, Star Wars, Millennium Falcon, silver things, DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com. That's how John pays for this.
That's right. My latest section.
Also, I just wanted to remind everyone to please check out the other YouTube channels that we have. We'll have a list of them and links to them in the show notes. But our Disney Dining show or Disney Dining channel, moving to Orlando, the DCL DCL fan, DVC fan, a whole bunch of channels with a whole bunch of content depending on what you're interested in. What happened there?
You glitched.
You glitched.
Lots of glitch.
So I handed it to Pete. He's going to open it up. It comes
Okay,
with a
we will.
certificate of authenticity.
We
I am
say that.
You can't do anything.
I really can't. I have to have. This is why God invented staff.
I'm impressed with the quality of the box that it comes in, and
Yeah.
it's a limited edition piece of 5,000.
So they usually
really
they
beautiful.
usually come in their own setup and their own box and their own
Wow.
display. Isn't that cool?
So do you
This
display
is
them, or do
impressively-
you have them?
Oh, it's this.
You really
Secretive
can't
away.
see on this shot, but this is a thick piece
This
of
is
silver.
1 ounce of silver. I believe this particular coin was $95.
So cool.
It's got a really cool
that's
detail
heavier
to it.
than
It
you
comes
would
in a
think it
great
is.
box. Jackie, you asked the question. Yes, we have a display cabinet, so I do display some. I do put some away, but I just think it's a great Disney thing. It's not, a
Something
popcorn
different.
bucket.
Yeah.
It's not
When we were
only-
at D23, this company, that convention we went to, that was the D23 convention, right?
Yep.
Okay. When we went to the D23 convention, this company was there, and I bought John, as a Christmas gift, £1. It's a £1 silver coin. It's that big around,
wow.
and it's about that thick, and it's Steamboat Willie. And the cool thing about it is, even though it's a pound, it is, I don't know what the word is, you can use it as payment for stuff.
Yeah, it's legal
actual
tender.
legal. That's the word, legal tender.
This is legal tender
But
too,
yes,
but it's
that's
like
a-
$2.
That comes out it came in its own little plastic display case,
Cool.
and it's out on a tabletop at our house.
The box. What do I do with the box? Okay, and this is yours.
You know,
Oh,
oh, how fun.
it's tribute.
Because I don't want them when people touched.
You can take the COVID Millennium Falcon.
The soiled.
That's very nice. Thank you.
And I have one more thing I want to talk about.
More gifts?
No more gifts. This is a gift for Kevin and I. This is non-Disney related. I apologize. I know we're sticking to Disney stuff, but Kevin and I have purchased a new property in New Jersey, in Cape May, New Jersey. It is a place we're going to go to in the off season and spend time. We love Cape May. It's beautiful, but we were also renting it out. So if anyone is interested in getting a beach property, it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo, 1 block from the beach in Cape May.
Not even 1 block; it's a half a
Half
block.
From Cape May. Send me an email, john@dreamsunlimitedtravel.com, and I will hook you up with our property management company out there to rent it out. About $1,400 for a week in the summer. And
It's not bad in Cape May.
it's a bargain. You can't get anything for that price in Cape May.
One of the people that had rented this summer had to cancel, and the people who are running the property for us put it on Airbnb.
VRBO.
VRBO, B&B. What do I know? And they had 4 requests for it within 48 hours.
Wow.
And the people that had the reservation came back and took it back. So it is very popular. It's a full apartment, living room, dining room, kitchen, bath, and bedroom. And it sleeps up to 4 people.
You can find it on VRBO, but if you book it directly through us, it's actually cheaper because VRBO adds a fee. So you're getting a better deal if you book it through us. So john@dreamsunlimitedtravel.com and I'll hook you up.
All right.
Very excited about it. It's something I've wanted my entire life.
All right. Well, while we're pushing things, I just want to give everybody a reminder about the Diz Family Reunion happening September 9th through the 11th. I received a text right before the show that we are down to 80 tickets left for the party at Galaxy's Edge, our exclusive Galaxy's Edge party. So those are going to be gone very, very soon. You can check out information and buy tickets for whatever. GKTW.org, givekidstheworld.org/DizFam. Also, autograph sessions now with the celebrities who will be attending are on sale as well. So please head over there and do that. All the money goes to raise money for Give Kids the World. And we may have an exciting announcement to make soon or at that event.
I think we should make it at the event.
Okay. We may have a May. I'm working on something. Fingers crossed. So
You see the smirks on their faces?
The gears are like, yeah, you can see them like.
it'd be very cool. Be very, very cool. We can get it all put together. So I did want to mention that. What about you, Jackie? What do you want to talk about?
Well, so okay, what's been on my mind this week is now I've never been to Aulani. I've never been over there, so I'm not sure. We did go to Maui way back in 1995, so I have been to Hawaii, but I picture Aulani as just this relaxing, wonderful, tropical oasis. And last week, they announced that one of their pools that used to be only for adults has been turned into a family pool. And there are a lot of people that are losing their absolute minds over this.
I'm not losing my mind over it, but I'm not thrilled about
This
it.
is Jackie picking at the scab.
I was just going to say, I hate it.
That is our perturbedness.
What?
Are you guys upset about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm,
Here's the thing. 90% of the common area in the courtyard is for children and families.
that's what I thought.
And there's a small area that's adult only.
yeah.
And now that's basically being eliminated.
I don't understand. So what gives?
We
What?
experienced that on our stay, when we just stayed a couple weeks ago. The first explanation we received was it was COVID related. It was a way to help spread out the people in the pool.
Spread out COVID.
Exactly. Give it to more people at once. But so it was that people could socially distance between the big pool and this pool. I don't know what the reasoning is behind going full time with this. When we went downstairs, we were going to go in that pool, and it was like little kid soup.
It's,
It was-
or as I like to refer to those pools, the unflushed toilet. Because that's what it is. You know, we talk about and I'll get to why I'm not on the cruise in a second, because I was supposed to be on the cruise yesterday. But the Mickey pool, in the morning, Mickey's face is clear and bright. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can barely see him.
He has jaundice.
Yikes.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, it's an unflushed toilet.
And what's really weird is this is not an exciting pool. It's kind of a rectangle. Now, there is a waterfall that comes down into it, but it
Yeah.
has none of the theming that any of the other pools have.
That's what I was seeing, and I thought, that's why I wanted to kind of say that I've never seen it in person, so I don't know, but I know that you guys have, and I'm thinking, gosh, it's not like this pool. I mean, I see the picture, and I'm like, I don't see anything that kids would go crazy for. Like,
It's
I don't
probably
understand.
about 4 feet deep, and at the far end, there's the far side, there's a waterfall, and there's a bench there. And you can sit on the bench. There used to be a cute little bar there where you could also order food and have it delivered to your chair, and that's closed. So I understand why that's closed, but I don't understand why they took the adult pool away. I really don't.
I don't get it either.
It doesn't make any sense. And the rest of the pools were not mobbed.
Right.
We had a balcony overlooking the pool, and I was up every morning, and I would watch the pool mothers who came screaming out of the building at 7:30, laying down towels on all the lawn chairs. I got up just to watch. And I would think, you know what? Do you see that there are dozens and dozens and dozens of empty chairs? But every morning there were 4 women who came flying out of different parts of the building with tote bags in their hand to get those chairs that they wanted. So, and I don't,
It's not that serious.
Over
for
by the
Hawaii.
adult pool, it's kind of, and I don't mean to make this sound like it's anything but lovely. It's just a pool.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We are
See,
disappointed.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like a lot of the stuff that's going on with COVID and a lot of the changes that they're making, I really try to look at it from both sides. I really try to, I ran a business for a lot of years, and it wasn't my business, it was a corporation. But regardless, I try to look at things from big corporation decisions, right? And so I try to figure out, now, why would a big company like this make a decision like that when it's it's not a pool that overlooks the ocean, right? It's
It's
not.
not.
No, it's up against a stone wall.
It's tucked in
Yeah,
a
so, like,
corner.
I
I will
just-
say this: the adult hot tubs are still adult exclusive. But when you want to go swimming and you want to cool off, you
Well,
don't want to go in a 100-degree
Here's
hot tub.
what here's what scares me. Aulani is part of the same business unit as Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
So are we going to start seeing the adults only area on Disney Cruise Line
I
give
hope
way?
not. I hope not.
Gosh.
Because
Well, I mean,
I'll tell you something. You know, I get it all the time. I get the question all the time from people like, why do you do Disney Cruise Line? All those kids. I'm like, well, they do have this great adults only area and the spa and everything. They start moving away from that.
yeah.
Forget
Well,
about it.
we understand that by going to Aulani, we are going to a family-friendly
Right,
resort.
and I'm fine
we
with
do
that.
that intentionally. We love Aulani. However, there was this little slice where there were not children.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I ran out there with my tote bag in the morning at 7:30 to get my chair, but you could show up and it was just adults and it was kind of peaceful. And in my opinion, more than half of the people there had a book in their hand. So it's kind of just a quiet place to relax, have a drink, read, something like that. Well, it wasn't anymore. It was child tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad.
That's too bad.
It is. Yeah. Because that's grown-ups. I mean, we're Disney fans, and we want a little bit of an oasis to go to and pull out a book
And
and
I don't-
just not hear the hullabaloo of the
I
little
don't
kiddos.
think there's anything wrong in that either.
Yeah.
Parents that have kids go, well, why do you get your own area? I'm entitled to have my own area. I raised my kids.
Well, I would just turn around and say, why do you, as a family, get your own area?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that okay? So
Yeah.
and again, nothing against kids.
No.
Although, let's be honest, your children are cuter to you than they are to me.
There
But
was one at Aulani that I'm pretty sure was half howler monkey.
She would scream.
She would start screaming at 7 a.m. And I used to teach. And I could tell the difference between a hurt scream and an I'm looking for your attention scream. This child was looking for someone's attention. And she would scream at the top of her lungs starting at 7 a.m.
See, those parents, they just wanted to throw their kid in the pool.
Right.
That's why they came flying out of that hotel, because they were just like, get this kid in the pool.
I love kids.
I know,
But I
I
think
do
it's
too,
okay to
but-
have a little corner of
Yeah.
anything
We need it.
where it's just for adults.
yeah,
Yep.
I
Amen.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Me too.
All right, so as I alluded to earlier, I was supposed to be on the Dream. I was so excited to go on the Dream, but late last week, just with the news, I decided that, you know what, not the right time. It wasn't the right time. It was a difficult decision for me to make. I wanted to be back on that ship in the worst way. I was so excited about it, but just from the time that I booked it until now, the narrative has changed so dramatically.
Yeah.
And while I am vaccinated and I trust Disney, I do have a 91-year-old mother that I care for. And I tend to ask myself a very simple question with this stuff. What's more important to me? Going on that cruise or spending time with her? And she always wins. She
Yeah.
always wins. This was a personal decision. Now, of course, I'm not going to say that part of my motivation for going on the cruise wasn't business related. Obviously, John and I are owners of Dreams Unlimited Travel. Most of the money Dreams makes comes from cruises.
Well, not this past year.
Not this past year, no, but generally speaking. And it would have been easy for me to swallow those fears and go ahead and go on the cruise anyway. Or come up with some excuse that something happened, I couldn't make it. But I've always tried to be transparent on the show and be honest, regardless of whether it was in my business interest or not, so that's what I'm doing. I posted it on my Facebook page the day I made the decision. And I want to kind of take this and circle back to something I said last week. I don't remember exactly which show it was. we, including myself, have been, as a group, in general, Disney fans, are very, very quick to jump all over Disney for anything we perceive as a money grab. And in many cases, that is a fair criticism to levy at them. But I got a 100% refund on my cruise, and I canceled 4 days before the sailing. And you know what? You know what I hear? Crickets. Crickets. Now, you want to talk about a business unit that has been decimated by COVID more than any of the other business units Disney has. It would have sucked, but I would have understood if their cancellation policy was not quite so liberal. But they've given freedom and flexibility to their guests to make decisions up to the last minute based on their own comfort level. And they haven't penalized them. They're not penalizing them for it. I've criticized Disney Cruise Line a great deal in the last year for their lack of transparency and communication. But I have to not only not criticize them, but praise them for this incredibly responsible decision. This is the absolute opposite of a money grab. It's the absolute opposite. And you know what? When they announced that changes to their cancellation policy with the resumption of sailings, crickets. Crickets. So I want to make sure I say it. How grateful I am that I was given that flexibility. It would have been a much harder decision if I had a jettison $4,000. It would have been a much harder decision. I probably still would have made the same decision, but I'm in a position where I can do that. Not everybody is. So DCL really, really, really needs to be praised for that policy. It is the opposite of a money grab. And if we as a community want to be taken seriously, then we need to be a little bit more fair and balanced in our criticisms and our praise. When they get it right, when they do it right, we should be equally as vocal as we are when they don't. So there, you've been spoken to.
All along, Disney Cruise Line's been great with their cancellation policies. Let's look at future cruise credits of 125%. They don't have to do that. This is a global pandemic. They could have said, listen, all bets are off. We're just going to cancel cruises. You'll get your money back. These are things that they're doing proactively to recognize their client base, their fan base. So I think
let's be honest, their policies have not always followed that, though. I mean, in the pandemic, it certainly has. I'm just talking about generally speaking. The policies haven't always followed that. But you know what? When the stuff hits the fan, they stepped up. Mm-hmm. All of them, World, Land, Cruise, all of them stepped up.
Yeah.
And
still are. I mean,
and still are.
To this day, here we are, yeah.
So, yeah, I just, for as much criticism as I've heaped on DCL the last year for tell us something, I thought it was really important that this be, I said I mentioned it last week, but I just felt it was important to drive that home. And whatever your reasons are for going on a cruise or not going on a cruise, they're valid. Mm-hmm. They're valid. Whatever your personal reasons are, they are valid.
And if you change your mind like you did, that's okay too.
Yes. Yep. And Disney has made that easy. And the vast majority of people on Facebook were very supportive when I made the decision. You had a couple of jackasses who just showed how stupid they are. But outside of that, I mean, I think everybody got it. Elaine Edwards, one of our Dreams Unlimited travel agents, is on that sailing. She has been posting stuff on Facebook and on her Instagram account. We'll find links to that and put them in the.
If you follow the Diz on Instagram,
Oh, she posted there too?
I was chatting with her last night while they were still in port, and I asked her to tag the Diz. We're at the .diz, and so she's tagging us in her stories, and I'm restoring them onto the Diz. So if you follow the Diz on Instagram, you'll see those in our stories too. And she's given really great views of what's going on.
Well, she's phenomenal.
So it's
She really.
And she apparently cares nothing of your mother. She went on the cruise.
I don't think Elaine's ever met my
I don't
mother.
think she has.
That's funny.
She's heartless.
Oh my goodness. Good thing she doesn't live right down here, though, huh? Because then there won't be any chances of meeting at Publix or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about. I wanted to get, because like I said, I went out last Wednesday about the Galactic Star Cruiser. And so I've made my opinion on it known, but I want to get your guys, like,
Kevin's very excited about it. He can't wait.
I bet he is.
Kevin, I'm with you. Zero interest.
Really?
Zero.
Oh, I'm so
I
surprised.
cosplay and mandatory fun. The last time I did cosplay and mandatory fun, I
don't
was
hear it.
doing Dragon Rehab in 1988.
Gonna say
I do not want to go stay at Downton Abbey. I don't want to dress up as those characters. That's my. I mean, like, that's something that I
Oh,
was.
come on. You could channel some Maggie Smith if you tried.
I didn't say that, but I don't need a costume. That it's not in me.
He doesn't understand
That level
it.
of fandom. It's just never been my thing.
If it was just theming, right? If it was a hotel themed like that, okay, I might get a little bit more into it. But there's stories and there's costumes. And
did you see those rooms with the little Lost in Space cubicles?
I'm just not that fun. I'm just not that fun.
Well, first of all, I think it sounds like fun. I would want to try it.
And this is coming from a man who thinks audience participation is the work of Satan.
It's actually torture. But I think what happened was we all saw what they released and their pricing, and we all went, "Oh my!" It was like, "Oh my!" For 2 days worth of, for 2 days worth of cosplay, it's a small fortune. And then there's this idea
Did
that
you get a costume?
No, I don't think so.
No. Kevin said, "Oh, they're going to give you a costume."
For a fee.
Yeah, you're going to go down to Run Down to Big and Tall and pick me up a Wookiee costume. I want them little bears from that planet. But I think it would be.
I want that flowy white cape.
You do.
The guy who was dressed like Liza Minnelli in
The end of Rogue One, he had that pillowy cape. But I think we're all shocked.
around and told everybody what was wrong.
I think we're all shocked by the price. I think there's also this element of it. I don't know that they've actually said this, but it feels like you can't leave.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
Like, if I want to drive down to 7-Eleven and get a hot dog, you can't do that.
Sorry, it's yard time.
That's right.
Well, this is.
We're going to hear from all the prisoners who watch our show now.
Yes,
right to me.
we've offended the inmate population. You see, and this may just be a factor of bad PR, bad communication, because the way they have presented this, it looks like mandatory fun, and it's mandatory fun at an extraordinary price tag.
And it's built like a Days Inn on 192. Just put a rocket out front.
I think it's going to be a little more than that, but the fact is, none of this is appealing to me. The price isn't appealing. The itinerary's not appealing. The cosplay and missions aren't appealing.
What about that unexpected story moment?
I
Oh, that did it right there.
you know what? No, I think I think they're the ones that would be getting the unexpected story moment from me.
I'm leaving. Get away from me.
Get the hell here's your unexpected story moment. Get the hell away from me.
Where's the smoking pod? I'm gonna go smoke in this movie.
The thing I don't get is like if you've ever ridden Rise of the Resistance, and what's the other one over there where you
The
shoot?
Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run.
Yeah, Smuggler's Run. If you get on one of those with people that think they know everything about Star Wars, they just suck the fun right out of it. When
I went to a convention.
It's like I like Star Wars, but I want to do it my way, not at 300 hours. You're going to do this.
Right.
And then if I want to stroll out to Batu, that's my business. I don't need to save the planet or some of the other.
Sounds like space camp.
Well, space camp I would enjoy.
Not that kind of space camp.
But this, it's like...
No, it's space rehab. It's mandatory. This is the analogy I made.
Oh, no.
It's that, the itinerary kind of looked like, because when you're in rehab, they have blocks in the day where you have to be outside or you have to be, we called it mandatory fun. This is mandatory fun.
Star Wars rehab.
They do say that you can participate as much or as little as you want, but
Okay, I'm not going to go. I'll be at the Waldorf.
yeah, that's the thing. I feel like if you're paying that kind of money to go
And look,
there,
you know what?
then...
And I'm not. I'll say this again. I am not saying anybody who chooses to do this is making a bad decision.
No.
Look, and you know what? When it comes time to go experience, I'm sure we'll get the media preview or whatever. When it comes time to experience it, I am totally open to being wrong. Completely open to being wrong. Kevin's not wrong.
Well, here's the deal. I went into this not caring. It's not like I don't care about this now, but I cared about all the other stuff. I haven't cared since 1977, to be perfectly honest with you.
See, now, and I'm like Kathy. I love the Star Wars movies. I've watched all of them. Been watching them since I was a teenager when when the first one came out, and I love them. I just don't feel like dressing up as anything, and I don't want to be like story
But I don't
story
think
things.
you have to. I don't believe that there is this you have to element. You have to
Well,
dress
you know
up
what
and you have to
happens?
assume a character.
What happens if during the 2:00 mandatory fun block, I decide I want to go to Epcot?
No, that's not allowed.
So this is what I'm talking about. And, you talk about it, you're free to come and go.
Mandatory fun block.
That's funny.
But it's the
Yard-
truth. Look at the
yard time
itinerary.
I'm sorry. It's time for crafts.
Exactly.
Or what's going to happen when somebody who's a diehard Star Wars fan goes and doesn't get the intense experience that they want? Are they going to go complain because, like I'm sitting in there and I don't have a clue what you're talking about? Like if I'm
Right.
supposed to help, are they going to complain about that?
That's why I don't belong there. I don't want to rain on your parade,
Right.
but
right.
I also don't want to go see your parade.
You always got to refer to a show tune, don't you? Every time.
There's a
Well, it's not
funny,
like he broke out in a song.
there's a funny girl reference all over the world.
I think the room and like the different food that they showed, that looked interesting. But I'd want to like hang by the pool.
It's only
or-
$5,000.
I don't think
I
there's a
know.
pool. Is there a
No,
pool?
no. But that's what I'm saying.
There's a
I would
space
wanna-
pool that I haven't
There's a
seen.
Star Wars
like
pool. I'm in.
like just if you don't want to do the experiences,
Robes are going to get heavy.
they need to have something for everybody, not just the diehard.
Well, that all remains to be seen. And like I said, they've, there's been bits of, they're piecemealing, the information's being released piecemeal. So we'll see. Of course, every major news outlet that reported this led with the same thing. Can you believe this price? That,
For
a
2
night,
days.
this is going to cost more than your mortgage. This is, because it really is. You look at the price for 2 days.
And that was just the standard cabin.
And that's the starting from price.
That's not even, yeah.
The starting
there were
from
Princess
price.
Leia suites and stuff like that too.
I don't think there are princesses. Don't say that. Because
What are
people
they
will-
called? There was something. There were special suites.
There are
Oh, yeah,
suites.
yeah.
No, there
Yeah.
are suites.
There were Princess Leia.
And look,
That's like my best
it's
Star
it's
Wars reference.
it's Disney taking a massive risk with this really unusual business model that nobody has tried before in this way. This has not been done before. And
Yeah.
it is either going to be a massive success or the Hotel Ishtar. It's
Really, any minute there's a Groupon.
it's I don't think there's going to be anything in the middle. And so I'm interested to see now with the reaction that they've been getting, which some of it's been, really good and some of it hasn't been. I want to see what announcements are made as time goes on.
You put out, and then Jackie put out an article that said if you want to get on a wait list, you can contact Dreams Unlimited Travel, and the response has been very, very good, very
Wow.
high. A lot of people want to be on the wait list, want to book when it first opens. So, I think you say there's not going to be a middle ground. I think there will be a middle ground. I think you'll find that there's going to be people who are going to love it, people who are going to hate it, and then there'll be the family members that go along.
Mm-hmm.
Because
All I need is a good reading light over the bed.
Yep.
I think it's going to be hysterical to watch Kevin in this environment. I had a great time watching him just
Can you
in
imagine
Galaxy's Edge.
how good that video will be?
In fact, I see that there are little overhead lights above the beds, so you're good.
As long as I can plug my
Even the
iPad
bunk
in.
beds, if you wanted to sleep in one of
I'm
those,
a bunk
those are there.
bed kind of guy.
Me too.
It's the things that turned me off were the price and the idea that it was food's included, but it's like too quick serve. And I think, well, that's not really a luxury experience.
No.
Well, there's also the what is it called here? Not the captain's table. There is the Crown of Corellia.
Sure.
Is that how you pronounce it? That's
It's a made-up word.
Yeah, like it is. It's but that's the main dining room, the table service dining room, and that's included too. But if you could even go as far as, which I know this is probably on your wish list for sure, is the captain's table, where you're right in the middle of the restaurant at a special table, where they'll come over and interact with you and such. You can pay extra for that.
When I eat.
I know, so I figured. But yeah, you can pay a lot extra for that.
But look at the success of Galaxy's Edge, and look how popular it's become, and the amount of people who want to be immersed in that experience. I think Disney's
Like I'm being held under.
But you know what? Galaxy's Edge isn't $2,000 a visit.
that is true.
Okay, so now all of a sudden you've made this, you've really limited the audience that is going to pay, which is good because I think they've announced it's only like 100 rooms. Going to be 100 rooms in this thing. So boutique, it's going to be boutique style, which I had said that's what I thought it was going to be. Something it's going to have to be because if you have 2,000 rooms and you're trying to fill them at $2,000 a
They
night.
have refillable mugs.
They might.
Would you go if they do?
No.
Oh, okay.
Here's the deal. Do you know what I live in fear of? That I'm going to have to go.
Yeah,
Have to go.
I'm sure you are. I feel like you are.
Now the other big announcement that came out last week that we should talk about, that their announcement that Disneyland was getting their annual passes later this month, and that Walt Disney World would have their annual passes before the start of the 50th anniversary on October 1st. So annual passes, we now know for a fact, are returning. They are returning within the next 7 weeks. Number one, when do we think they'll put these on sale? Number two, do we think that they're going to limit the number of them that they sell?
Excellent questions.
They are
I
fantastic.
don't know that we
questions.
have the same problem that Disneyland does with annual pass holders. I've heard that annual pass holders think of Disneyland as their day park, places they can go for
a
the
weekend? Do
afternoon.
they go for a weekend?
Or an afternoon. I'm not sure we have that problem here, so
Yeah, I don't believe they'll limit them in capacity. I think we're going to see something similar to what Disneyland did, which there'll be different levels and different blackout dates.
which
You
is
know?
what we've always had.
Right. This seems a little bit more with the Disneyland pass, though.
We can call them different things, but
Well,
it's kind of the same.
keep in mind, the rationale, they are keeping the reservation system
Yeah.
for the parks, because they want to be able to control crowds. And we have, that's a problem in Disneyland. Guess what? It's been a problem here too. And the only way to do that is to control the number of people that come into the park, which they are now able to do. COVID handed them a gift.
Did.
A gift. There is no way the park reservation system is going anywhere
Just going to say
ever.
that park reservations are here for good. We have to get used to that. Because not only is it a way for them to control the flow, it's a way for them to anticipate the flow.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
they
don't
can.
mind the park reservations. I mind the mobile ordering. That you have to know at 9 o'clock that you want lunch at 1:15.
And what
That
you wanna
bothers
eat.
me.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And that, I think that may get that's something that may change as things.
More of an option
Yeah,
than,
but I think that what they're going to do, I think they do want to limit the number. I think annual passes are more hassle than they're worth to Disney in a lot of ways. And now I was very encouraged when I saw the prices of the annual passes out in Disneyland. They are not price gouging. They've created multiple tiers to address, a lot of different groups and how people want to experience the parks. Talked to a couple of my friends in Southern California who said, "Yeah, I'm all in." We really thought the monthly payment was going to go away because that was a big part of the problem, but it's not. They've kept that, and I've been saying for a while that whenever we see Disneyland, that we would see Disneyland's APs first, and that it was going to be a precursor to what we were going to get. So based on that, I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it could have been.
No.
However, when you look at it overall, you have to step back and say to yourself, $1,399 for a 2-park annual pass. That's a lot.
But
For out
that
there,
is
yes.
also
That's a
how
lot.
they are going to keep
Right.
the volume down.
Yeah. Taking away the business reasoning for it, I think for the average person, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that
But
was.
they're also making it a monthly payment.
Yeah, I get you.
So it does make it a little bit easier.
And once they get annual passes, they're not coming to the Star Cruiser.
I don't know that. They might. Yeah, I don't know that they'll limit. You think they'll limit passes out here, annual passes, or you think they'll do what they did and make a very high?
I think
Unlimited
that's the way
pass.
they're going. I think that's probably the way they're going to do it. Is they're going to make the passes that are full access to every day, whatever. Those are going to be more expensive than what we were paying before. I think they're all going to be a little more expensive than what we were paying before, but I think that's how they're going to manage it. Now the question becomes, what's going to happen with FastPass? We will not hear an announcement on FastPasses until after we hear an announcement on annual passes. And I think what they're going to do was, like, when I saw how relatively reasonable the prices were on the Disneyland ones, I'm like, where the kick in the ass is going to come from is when they announce like paid fast passes, and they do some kind of add-on for your annual pass to include that.
Like they did in Paris.
Well, did
Yeah.
they do that with the annual pass holders?
I don't know if they did it with the annual pass holders, but they've made this pay per fast pass system out there.
Oh yeah, no, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that they're
Yeah.
going to bring that system over here, no doubt.
No doubt.
They haven't announced that. That's just what we're assuming.
Yeah.
That they're not doing it in Paris just because they hate Paris. They're going to get the kinks worked out of it, see how it's received, and then they're going to roll it out in California and Orlando. Now, I think we'll see prices similar to what annual passes were before, like we're kind of seeing in California right now. But the kick is going to come from, oh, and if you want fast passes included with that, give us another $8 million a month. Because what were those prices again on the fast passes in Paris?
I don't know off the top
Was
of
it
my
Oh, I
like
head.
forget.
16 US dollars
Per attraction.
per attraction
Yeah.
per person.
Yeah.
Per
Yeah.
person. So a family of 4, you're talking $60+
Wasn't
Per
there one that
attraction.
was 100 and something for Buzz Lightyear or something?
Yeah.
Was
Because it was like $18.
Oh, is it 18?
It was for one of them, like the most expensive one.
yeah,
And so
Oh, so they're going to yield this by attractions. It's
Yeah.
not just.
right.
Yeah. So like that's on top of your ticket. So it's almost like those fairs, those county fairs that you went to as a kid, and you had to get a certain number of tickets for each ride. Like, and your parents were like, "Oh my god!"
But
Can't go on that ride. It's
I'm going to
7
play
tickets.
devil's advocate. I hate the idea of this. I hate it. But I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. The number one complaint, number one by a mile, of people going to Disney World, too crowded. Lines are too long.
Yeah.
Fast Pass is too, for us, for people who, are like us, we figured out the system, we learned how to get around it. But think about, like, the average family. Like, what?
This is
what
like
do I
when
have
they
to
first
do?
opened and you bought a ticket book.
Yeah.
Right.
But now you pay an annual price or a price for a 5-day ticket plus a ticket book.
Right.
That's
Well,
what
that's
they're
what I'm
gonna-
saying. But it's like having a ticket book because the prices for that were yielded.
I think they'll do a certain number of fast passes for anybody who has a ticket. And similar to what they've done in the past where the rides were yielded of, popularity and all that stuff. But I think what they're going to do is they're going to give you the ability to buy more. And I think we're even going to see, and I hate to say it because it's going to be controversial, people staying at concierge will get a bunch. People who book at deluxes will get some. I think it's all going to be this tiered pricing system. And you, as the person who goes in for a day, you can buy more. But if you stay at a certain place, you get more.
Well, and the position that they are in right now is that, like I said, the number one complaint is it's too crowded. It's too crowded. It's too crowded. So they've got to pull back on the crowds, but they also have to make more money. They're a business.
But what do you think about now that there isn't Fast Pass and people are finding that they can still do a lot of the attractions? Did they like shoot themselves in the foot because people have found out that they didn't need a Fast Pass? Or is once Fast Pass
no,
comes
I
back,
think that-
everybody's going to need it?
I think there are enough people in the world who will absolutely pay to bypass the line.
Yeah. I think we saw, correct me if you guys think I'm wrong, I think we saw when Fast Passes were introduced, longer lines on standby because Fast Pass was given the priority. So I think once they bring Fast Pass back, you're going to have a much longer standby line than you're seeing now. at
But do
most
you think,
attractions.
like for me, I personally don't care if Fast Passes come back because I don't use Fast Passes. for
I don't
most-
think I've used one since like when they first came out.
me see,
I
I
haven't
have.
used one since.
the only ride that we always try to get is Rise of the Resistance, but you don't need a Fast Pass for that. But everything else, it's like if we walk by and see it's busy, it's like, oh, I'll catch it next time, or I'll come back and see.
That's
if
one
there's
of the
a line.
luxuries of living here.
Right, right. But
Not everybody has that
But
experience.
if you're going to have an annual pass, I don't care if you're coming from Cleveland or Pittsburgh or wherever you're coming from, are you going to have that same mentality then that I can catch it whenever?
I don't think so. I think most people, even if they come just for vacation, are going to think this is this year's vacation, this is this year's flight amount, this is this year's hotel amount. I'm going to get as much as I can in.
Okay.
So I don't want to bypass that other stuff. But you raised a good point too. There was a lot of talk about going to much more of these boarding group things other than Fast Pass. So you might see that, maybe something for like Tron, they'll do boarding passes.
Well,
yeah.
they surprised me with the annual passes at Disneyland. I really thought that was going to be a cluster, and it wasn't. It wasn't. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll hope for the best, expect the worst. Is really, I think, the only thing that we can do. Forgot to mention at the top of the show, if you are a Patreon supporter, be sure to stay tuned after this. We'll have a separate show just for our Patreon folks at any tier. If you want to join us on Patreon, patreon.com/DizUnplugged. but I think.
Could we do one more thing?
We got a little more time,
Yeah. Do you want to do your thing? Because I wanted to talk about that.
Sure. I have 3.
Oh, dear God.
Okay.
They've announced merchandise for the 50th anniversary. And there's a whole iridescent collection, and then there's a whole 50th anniversary collection. Kevin is excited about the Vault collection. They are going to re-release things that were released at the opening of the park.
No, they're not.
I swear to God.
They'll be remanufactured.
Right.
like-
No, obviously, it's not going to be
they
the
didn't go to-
original.
They didn't go to people's houses and take them.
Although they should.
Really.
But they're going to release things that were released when the park first opened. That's one.
That's really cool.
Second, all Adventures by Disney Backstage Magics through December 31st have been canceled.
That's such a shame.
And our March 27th ABD has been canceled,
Our group.
our group. Because of the Academy Awards.
Oh, jeez.
Because apparently that snuck up on people.
Yeah. They let us book it. They let us create the group. They let us do all the work to
Take
do
everybody's deposit.
build it. And then they went, oh, we forgot the Academy Awards were at that time.
And my last thing is, John and I have just watched a series on Disney Plus called Behind the Attraction.
I have to watch it.
Inside the
Yeah.
attraction?
Behind the
Behind the
attraction.
attraction.
Yeah.
I think there were 4 or 5 of them.
Yep.
I thought they were fascinating. The one that didn't fascinate me, and we realized why, was Tower of Terror. And the reason it didn't fascinate us is because we were both here when they were building that. So a lot of that information was put out as it was being built. So it wasn't new information. But I learned a great deal of stuff about Space Mountain,
You think-
about
you think,
the
you know,
Haunted Mansion.
We watch everything. And we're always, anything about Disney and their Imagineers and how they're doing stuff in the past when Walt was around. We watch all of that. And to find that we actually had information and people we had not heard of before telling us stories of Haunted Mansion and Space Mountain and all these rides, we thought it was really, really great. We think every
I have
Disney
to check
fan
it
should
out. I
watch
haven't
it.
had a chance.
It's a good series.
And they're
So
good. They're
good.
fast. They're fast watches, and they're individual things. So you could just watch one, and it's one. And
What are you
done.
chuckling about back there?
I mean, I'm not on camera, so I can't. We did an off the rails episode of it this past week. I think the show is complete garbage.
That's so funny.
Uh-huh.
Well, you and I are disagreeing about Schmigadoon too. So
That is true. That
We
is
have
true.
different tastes. I think you watch it, and you be the judge, and you can put demerits on anybody you don't agree with.
Okay.
The thing I
That's
have to mention
The
is
way
that
we usually do it.
if you want thorough history lessons, check
Yes.
out Connecting with Walt, returning on September 3rd every Friday.
Yeah. Here's the deal. You're not going to get any better than Michael researching and doing all that stuff. And this is a lot of they're putting it in a nice package, so they try to be fun and funny about it. But I thought there was great information I had not heard before. And maybe you didn't like it, Craig, because you have heard Michael talk about these things. So possibly there was nothing new for you.
The style. I hate that.
Oh, you didn't like the...
Yeah, it's obnoxious to me.
Oh, I thought it was funny. I thought the woman who was doing the sort of hosting the show, narrating it, I thought she was snarky and funny.
And one of the fun things is they do a piece about Joe Rohde and Mission Breakout, and they talk about he was working with the person he worked with for Aulani, and this was somebody we interviewed for
The first time we went.
for the Diz. So somewhere in the
Okay.
archives, there's a interview with Kevin and the woman who was the Imagineer who worked on Aulani.
Okay.
Somewhere out there.
I thought they were great. They're not long. They're like 50 minutes each. And I even thought the Star Tours one was interesting. Not because it was Star Tours, but it was because I learned about the mechanism that runs
Because
Star
you're a secret Star Wars fan.
Yes.
So I knew it.
Did you see him cry when I gave you that Millennium Falcon? A little tear ran down his face.
just about the money.
Oh my
I found the fact that they found this mechanism in Europe and adapted it to Star Tours. I thought that was fascinating. I thought it was really interesting how they worried about how are they going to get people on this. Just a crossover.
I think that's a problem they're going to have with Star Cruiser. How are they going to get people into it?
They're going to have coupons, I promise. One of the things that was a crossover was we have 2 tracks in Space Mountain. Disneyland, after their rehab, only had the right space for the 1 track. So what they did was to increase their load, they made the cars longer than they are in Disney World. And that's how they realized what they were doing with Star Tours. How are they going to get people in and out of this? At first they thought they were just going to have one set of doors, but they realized this was a logistical nightmare. So it was...
It's fun to watch the Imagineers work out
Yeah.
all of their, how these things are going to work.
And there was nothing wrong with the Tower of Terror one if you weren't around here when that was being built. Because all of those details were sort of in our newspaper and on our news. So it just wasn't,
It's interesting.
it wasn't as interesting to us.
I'll have to check it out.
It's
All right.
so good. You'll be glad you did. It's good. Did you guys know that Joe Rohde posed for some of the statues in that? Did you guys know that?
I had known
already?
that because
One
we went.
Tower of
corbel. He talks about this through the whole thing.
He
I
does,
posed
yeah.
for one
One-
corbel,
yeah.
and then my face was everywhere.
Yep.
We learned that on Backstage Magic, but
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
it was fascinating.
All right. Well, that is going to do it, folks, for this week's episode of our show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another episode of The Diz Unplugged. And to our Patreon supporters, stay tuned. In about 10 minutes, we will go out live just for you. Have a great week, everybody, and remember, stay out of the damn lakes.